Hey, 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 hey. It is
What's up?
Takara Williams.
And Carla Harris.
And this is episode 4 of the crossover.
Crossover, man. Episode 4 already, boy. We rolling.
Man, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm loving the energy, loving the vibe, loving everything about it, man. It's really something phenomenal that we're doing. I like what everybody brings to the table and that our audience gets to engage with them. I think
Right.
that's pretty special.
The feedback, the people that are viewing, the feedback has been really great. So we want to keep on bringing it to the people. We want to get bigger and better for the people.
Absolutely. So we're gonna kick this thing off, man. We got a special guest coming in tonight, a South Florida legend, in her own right, Nova High School. She's in the Kane gang with you, so I ain't mad at you. I ain't
Hey,
mad
hey,
at
hey, thank
you.
you. Yeah.
You know, growing up, Octavia Blue, she played with the Lady Players for a while, and we were in the same organization. She's older than me, of course, but that was definitely somebody I looked up to playing the game of basketball. Like they set the tone. They really opened up doors for younger players like myself. So I'm definitely appreciative of that.
Yeah. We're gonna save that though. We're gonna save that a little bit. Let's get into some of this news that's going around that we had the WNBA draft this week.
Yes.
And let me tell you something. I was so proud to be a female basketball player. I thought they did a great job on the platform, and I can see it getting better and better. ESPN televised it. I thought it was great to get the ladies out on that platform and give them what's similar to the male field. Like, the men, like their draft is huge, everything out there. And I thought they did a great job. So kudos to ESPN, WNBA, women's basketball, giving them a great platform for those ladies to experience being drafted, which is a big deal. Been
Yep.
working all your life to get drafted. That's a big, big deal. So shout out to them for that.
Key word you said. They've been working all their life to get drafted.
Yeah,
Nothing is
yeah.
overnight. There's no
Nothing is
overnight
overnight.
success like that. You got to put some work in there. Did you see any surprises in the draft?
With women's basketball, usually not a lot of surprises. I think one surprise that I have been following it, and I saw that Destiny Henderson had played exceptionally well in the national championship game, and a lot of people had kind of moved her up the chart, but unfortunately, it didn't happen. She didn't go in that first round like some people kind of thought she may go, but she did get drafted, which is great for her. She did get drafted to the Indiana Fever. I think pick number 20. Not bad. You got an opportunity to be drafted. And hey, she got an opportunity. Let me say what the biggest thing as an entrepreneur, both of us entrepreneurs, like I thought the biggest thing was her being able to use that platform. A Holly Rowe allow her to stand up and show her fashion, her own designer shoes. She's an entrepreneur in her own right with her own clothing line, and she was sharp that night, So she got a chance to show off her gear and get some free marketing for
Yeah.
her clothing line. So I love it. Hey, shout out to all the entrepreneurs, and I love that the young ladies are thinking that at that age.
Yep. And I'm gonna speak on the about being drafted and having to not go into the round that was predicted for you.
Right.
I'm a product of that. So when I came out in '04, in every mock draft, they had me going number 13, the first pick. I meant the last pick of the first round. So I was supposed to be the 13th pick. I ended up falling to the third round. San Antonio ended up picking me up. And you know what? I made the team. So
Right.
just because you're drafted doesn't mean you make the team, and it doesn't matter what round. So there were some first rounders that didn't make it through training camp. So
See.
remember this. There's about 22 to 25 players that's going to get into training camp. They can only keep 12.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
you're competing against your veterans. You got grown women out there. You know what I'm saying? And like, think about this. When I came up, you had the Lisa Leslie, Cheryl Swoops, like grown
Whew.
women.
Grown Cynthia Coopers and all them, like, yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
I feel like she has a great opportunity. She knows the game. She's a true point guard, and that's so hard to find. Is a true point guard.
Yeah.
Is you either have a scoring guard or, just somebody that's, not what society has seen as of late. But I think she's gonna do very well because she's been
Well, she
coached by
has the
one of the
ability to
best point
score.
guards.
Like you said, a scoring point guard, so she has the ability to score, but she doesn't have to score. Like one of her greatest attributes is she can play some crazy defense.
Come on now.
Hey, she got on no offense to Paige over at UConn. But Destiny put some defense in that working that night, and that really helps South Carolina. Like she can play some defense. So
she locked her up. I mean, say what you want. She locked her up. Paige was frustrated and struggling at first. You know, she did find her way, but that defense is something different, man.
Right.
That if any young players are listening, I will tell you this day in, day out. Defense is what keeps you on the floor. It's hard for a coach to pull you off and see. Carla, you know this. Mm-hmm. If you got somebody playing killer D, it's hard for you to pull them off the court.
Yeah, definitely. Every time you take them off, I got to get her back. I need her to stop that person from hurting us. You know, I tell you, as a player at the University of Miami, when you go into collegiate play, everybody on the top level teams were stars. You know, I had to find a different route to get my playing time, and defense was it. You know, I just wanted to outwork the next person to the point where, coach, you got to have me on the floor because you need me to lock up that other person. You got all these people that can score, but you need me to lock up this other kid. So if kids can learn that, you know, they can get some minutes. So that's big. That's big.
Absolutely. And one more thing about the draft, you know, another native here, Erica Wheeler, she went undrafted, and look at her now. Look at her now.
Adidas standout, all-star MVP. She's killing it. Hey, what's up, Kat? Appreciate you tuning in. My Turks Island family, I appreciate you tuning in, boy. But yeah, she's doing her thing, and I'm so proud of her in the 305. She's an entrepreneur as well, playing overseas, you know, doing her thing. But yeah, undrafted player to, you know, her clothing line, Don't Settle, Be Great. And we're looking forward to trying to, you know, having her on the show one day to be able to tell her story herself to the listeners, you know?
Absolutely. And speaking of which, what do you think are some of the things that are affecting, number one, our high school kids coming into, you know, college, and our kids that's in college going to the next level? So what's happening with the pool now? Because we're not seeing a lot of red shirt players these days.
Right. Well, let's run this clip before you, run the clip, T. Let's set it up.
Let's do that. Let's run the clip. Right.
Give me 1 second. It's coming.
We coming. Bear with us.
Recruiting classes, and we bring in all these. Let me tell you something. The portal now, man, it's free agency. Yeah, I feel bad for high school kids because we're only taking like 4 to 5 high school kids this year, and they're getting the short end of the stick. Yeah, the NCAA is going to have to come in and say we got to increase the scholarship for high school kids, because why would you take the chance when you already have a plethora of kids that's already been to college, made the adjustment, and you know what's wrong with them or you know what's right with them, and you rather go there instead of risk at a high school kid. Yeah, 22-year-old versus 18-year-old is a very big difference. Very big difference. Yeah. Coaches are getting fired in a couple of years, so you're trying to get guys that ready to help you now. Right. Instead of, no one's red shirts anymore. Yeah. You've said that.
Woo! Hey, that was words from the GOAT, Deion Sanders himself. Like, no one red shirts anymore. Like, you gotta come. Look, I get to choose a 22-year-old or 18-year-old with no collegiate experience, hasn't been through the 6 a.m.s, the weightlifting, the traveling, or this 22-year-old that has been through it, understand, made the adjustment, and can help me right now because I gotta keep my job.
At the end of the day, your job is on the line, right? Right. You got to win. Job is on the line. So do you choose someone that hasn't developed yet, or you got someone that has developed? They might not have performed where they are, but they understand what they're walking into.
Mm-hmm. And that's what's happening. Like, recruiting process has changed. Like he spoke of on the football level, and I know the football level has way more scholarships to offer than the basketball level. Like, you know, may keep 15 to 18. I'm going to just throw a high number out there. Football, like, whoa. And he's only taking 4 high school kids. So imagine on the basketball level or the basketball arena, they're probably taking less. They get to go shopping. Let's take this, T. You get to go to a no-name brand local grocery store, or you get to go to Whole Foods. Like nobody tells you how much you can spend. I get to go to the no-name. I get to go to Whole Foods and pick out the cream of the cream. Experience. The fish has already been. You know what I mean? Like think about that. So you're probably gonna say, hey, you're not gonna check my price. I can go right into Whole Foods and pick out the fresh fish and seafood, fresh veggies, the organic meat. I'm going to Whole Foods. I'm going to the top. You know what I mean? So that's what these kids are experiencing. And think about the pressure that's on the coaches to be able to win year after year, to sustain that level, to keep their jobs. Because honestly, in the collegiate realm, it's a business. It's a business.
It's definitely a business. I mean, once a coach starts winning, right? And now we're paying coaches millions of dollars, as you can see. The threshold has went up. Yesterday's price is not today's price.
Exactly.
So, I'm looking at it. I'm going to be a university. So if I'm going to pay a coach millions of dollars, you better believe I need you to go perform right now. Not 2 years down the line, not 4 years down the line. Really, right now.
Yeah. Take Kentucky. Kentucky's women's coach won the SEC. I don't know how far they went in the NCAA tournament or whatever, but I know she won the SEC. She beat South Carolina. That's huge. Well, Guess what? She got a contract extension. She got a pay raise. Her base salary pretty much stayed the same at about $300 or $400, something in that category. But her media or package or something of that nature was hugely extended. Either way, she stands to earn about $700,000 instead of the $400,000.
Correct.
But guess what? I'm sure she has to win. That brings about that pressure to win. So now she has to go, and which, if I'm not mistaken, I heard there are maybe 4 or 5 kids, 3 kids.
3 left. Three girls went into the portal. 3 went into the portal. And they were on a storybook season. It's I don't know. But she also put out the number 1 draft pick in the WNBA draft. Brian Howard went number 1.
Yeah, sure, for sure.
Went number 1.
She is. I love that kid. I can't say enough about that kid. The versatility, she can play, she can guard. I watched her guard the post. I watched her step out. Like she can score like a guard. She can get in the post and play. Like the Atlanta Dream got a great player in Ryan Howard. So that's a great pickup. Yeah, she lost a great kid in the draft, and then she has 3 or so transferring. Let's see what. So now, does she go to high school? Does she go to high school to recruit and compete in the SEC, or does she go to the portal?
I'm saying it's 800 to 900 kids in the portal that have played collegiate basketball.
Right.
And if my job is on the line and there's pressure on my back,
right,
I think I'm going to check out the portal first. I got to check it out first, just because I got to see what's in there. Like, is there something in there that I can use right now that's going to help me right now?
Yeah.
Now you may have a kid coming out of high school that's ready to go, because you do have some ready to go kids, and that's all good.
Right. Hey, but do you have enough to compete? You may have 1 or 2, but do you have enough to compete with the teams like South Carolina and the UConns and they're ready to go right now? Like they have a group of kids that are young adults. I won't say kids, young adults that are ready to go right now.
Well, I tell you what, we have someone that has more expertise than us, and we can bring her on right now to answer the questions that we have. So I'm going to bring to you guys Octavia Blue. Thank y'all ladies. Happy to be here.
Blue, I'm loving that hair, girl. You are fresh, girl.
I appreciate it. I went the natural route. I'm loving it.
Hey, man, it looks good on you. It looks good on you.
I appreciate it.
So, hey, look, man, you and I have great history. So I'm excited to bring you on the show.
Yes.
And we're not going to give them all the history.
Okay.
First of all, you.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh,
Hey, all day, no matter what,
oh,
where we are, what
giggle,
we represent. Hey, she'll get them, Aggie.
Hey,
giggle.
hey, a lot of rich tradition there too. Okay.
Yeah, rich tradition. But you come in, University of Miami. You're an ACC legend. You're a Hall of Fame at the U. Like, man, tell us your story. Give the people Octavia Blue coming from Nova High School, Fort Lauderdale. Give them a bit of Octavia Blue.
Yeah, a little of a late bloomer. I literally didn't even start playing basketball till almost ninth grade. I was kind of discovered in eighth grade in the PE class. Grew up in Deerfield Beach, went to a semi-private school. Basically bust 45 minutes all my high school. I'm not even gonna say high school, all my schooling, K through 12. I went to Nova. And not like most schools who go to school, which 7 o'clock, I don't even know that life, but school started 9:25, ended at 4:20. So that was my life. Basically, wake up, eat, ride the bus to school, come home, practice, do homework, go to sleep, do it all over again. So I didn't
Again.
have much. I To say shelter is an understatement a little bit. I wasn't really out doing the other things other than playing with the guys in the neighborhood, but kind of got discovered to play basketball eighth grade, late bloomer in PE class. I had somebody teach me. I was just an athlete, Olympic day during middle school, fastest one, winning those relays. Throwing, shooting around the basketball. I wasn't a girliest girl, so I wasn't necessarily playing hopscotch or
Right.
a jumping rope. I just grabbed a ball and tried to shoot. Didn't know the concept of basketball. And then the middle school coach at the time asked me why didn't I try out for the team. At the time, I'm 5'7" in middle school, but between the summer of middle school to ninth grade, I sprung up from 5'7" to 6 feet. Most
Mm.
part of my life, but I sprung up and just was so athletic. I got by with my sheer talent and athleticism.
Hmm.
And I had a great career. Numbers look big, but I always had a chip on my shoulder as a competitor because Nova wasn't the best high school program. I mean, we would win maximum 3 games a season for my entire
Wow.
career. And I had numbers like 28 points, 27 points, and 15 rebounds average. And then always didn't know if people respected
Hmm.
how he played Nova type deal. Still, I had a guy with Fort Lauderdale flying what we were the flying
Yeah,
there?
the flying nails.
No, Glenn. What was Glenn?
Oh, Glenn, Coach Glenn.
Lady players,
Oh,
lady
yeah,
players.
lady players. Yep, lady
Okay, so
players.
I play with Bob Glenn, lady players. He asked me, somehow convinced my mama to let me play AAU. Like I tell you, somewhat sheltered. Mom didn't really let me go off with people, only family members. You know how it used to be back in the day. So
Yeah, yeah.
Bob Glenn convinced my mama to allow me play with his team. So we had a little local AAU team, local tournaments. Somehow we wind up playing the New Orleans Vikings. Okay, consisted of there were not only New Orleans Vikings, they were all the best players in Miami-Dade. So we play against them. Of course, we lose. There's the Michelle Murray's of the world, Jennifer Jordan, Tracy Reed. Okay, so we play against them, get killed, but the coach is yours truly, Carla Harris, and play with them because they had an opportunity to go to nationals, right?
Yeah.
I went there. Prior to then, I had maybe one offer, which was from Kentucky. And the reason why University of Kentucky, which you guys were just talking about, they knew about me because in 11th grade, I got invited to University of Kentucky for USA basketball as one of two 11th graders. Obviously, didn't make the team with college kids, but great exposure. I'm not outing those coaches at that time, but I know they shouldn't have been evaluating. But somehow, in their offices from above, they must have noticed me. And
Mm.
I got recruited by them from that. And it's kind of like your first love thing. So I'm
Yeah.
all about Kentucky. I'm going to Kentucky. We went to Chattanooga, Tennessee, right? Played with Coach Carla's team. When I tell you I came back and my mailbox was overflowing from every big time Power Five, what we call Power Five now conference there. And that's how I kind of got discovered. And me still loving Kentucky, my mom not wanting me to go away for one, how I'm gonna come see you,
Hmm.
know when to close, all this stuff. So she trying to talk me out of it. And she's like, and then Miami jumps on because
Mm.
at this moment they finally saw me at this tournament, right? Or they probably knew of me, but Tracy Reeds and Michelle Murray's way bigger recruits in South Florida.
Yeah.
And I get an offer, I go on an official visit. And when people tell you sometimes you step on campus and it's where you want to be, I knew it was where I wanted to be, but I didn't tell them right away. I went home, thought about it, and then I decided to be at Miami. So that's kind of my story. Coach Collar coached me and took me to the biggest tournament that changed my life.
Yeah, I tell people, I told T, I said, like, people don't know that little
Yeah.
nugget, that we had, hey, Blue, we had a trip. We're not going to tell everybody
You ain't got to
about
tell
the trip.
everybody about that
When
trip.
we went together, we laughed so hard about that trip. I'm 22, they're 18. We trying to figure this thing out, but we were winning.
Winning.
We were
When I
winning.
tell you the layup line was lit, it was smack. Like that's when the backboards was real long. We were all up, two hands,
Clapping, yeah,
pulling the rim. Like we had like 3 dunkers on the team,
yeah,
and then Cassandra Williams was like pulling the rim down.
yeah.
So
It's crazy. It was a great summer for me. I mean, I remember that as one of my big basketball moments, just to be there with you ladies. Y'all gave me a great experience. I had some headaches some nights, but
yes, you did.
Great experience.
Coach, me being the head coach right now, I couldn't imagine being 22, a couple years older, and I'm taking that team out of town, trying to.
Yeah.
God bless you.
So, since you brought that up, I want you to talk about what does the crossover mean to you? Crossing over from player to now head coach at Kennesaw State University.
My story is tough. I mean, like I think people want to play as long as they have the ability to play, and I did that. I think I stopped playing in my early 30s. I was feeling beat down. We all former players. We know how our bodies are just not reacting the same. Too much recovery, taking days instead of one day. So I remember being overseas towards the latter part of my career, talking about, man, what am I gonna do next? You played basketball your whole life, and I kind of stumbled into coaching. I think my last time playing basketball on the court, like professionally, was being injured. I tore my Achilles. I was over in Poland, very lonely place where you're like freezing, nobody speaking English, and you're so confused. And I wound up coming back to Miami, and I was living there at the time and just rehabbing. And I got a call from somebody who coached me in college. Robin Harmony was my associate head coach when I was at Miami. She was coaching at local St. Thomas. They just started a women's basketball program. And she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, rehabbing. So she's like, come be my coach. I'm like, I do not want to coach. I've never wanted to coach. And just stop by. I want you to be my post coach. So I stopped by. I watched the girls practice. I jumped in, started teaching a little bit. And I loved it. And then of course, me wanted to jump the gun. I'm like, you play at a high level. You like, God, these girls. Oof. So I said, hey, is there any way I could get to Division I? And she was like, people work their whole lives to get to Division I. Right. And then, you know what? Sometimes I say it's a blessing. It's God. It's chance. It's supply and demand. Somebody needed a young, energetic coach, and it was St. John's University. And then within 1 year, I had an opportunity to go to Division I. So the crossover, sometimes your status as a player, a need, a blessing, your season, all those things come into play. And I was able to make that jump really quick to get in the Division I coaching ranks. Didn't know anything about coaching, but I knew my passion for the game.
Yeah, that's deep. You played for the Sparks, right, Blue?
Yes.
What's some WNBA teams you played for?
Yeah, so I got drafted by the Sparks. Shout out to the draftees that just the new pros. That was amazing. I remember the moment getting that call. So in 1998, I got drafted by the Sparks, first WNBA draft pick in Miami history. So I got drafted there. I played there my rookie season. And then the next year, they added 2 expansion teams. One was the Minnesota Lynx, and then the other was the Orlando Miracle. So during that time, GMs could only protect their starting 5 and probably their 6 man. Everybody else was up for grabs. So I got drafted by Minnesota Lynx. Went to their training camp, and it's all about fit sometimes. And, I feel like the Sparks knew me enough as a player. They did their research, and I fit them at the time, but they couldn't protect me from anybody else who wanted me. So going out to Minnesota, I thought would be a good fit, but apparently I wasn't. I got cut, and it's so easy to get discouraged, and I was. It was a real tough time for me. Just a feeling of embarrassment, like I let my family down. I wasn't good enough. I literally probably sat in the house for a month. I'm not gonna lie to you. I just couldn't understand that I didn't measure up, right? But I didn't give up. That's when I started my overseas career. And then after that, you know, I kept getting opportunities and I never let it go. So to answer your question, played for the Sparks, training camp with the Lynx. W team we had one in Miami. The Miami Soul was gone there to that training camp. Door shut again, and then I became a Hall of Fame coach and played with 3 Hall of Fame players with the Houston Comets. So I wouldn't trade my path from anything else in the world.
Yeah. And I ran into you my rookie season when I was in San Antonio and you were in Houston. So that was surreal for me because growing up in high school, you know, even earlier than that, like you were one of my idols. Like, man, I want to be like Blue. I didn't know y'all only won 2 to 3 games. Like you was killing it.
Yeah.
Like that's all I saw. So thank you for setting the path for younger players like myself and for others to come.
For sure. You know, my passion for it. And you never know who you inspire along the way, but I'm happy I was able to be that for you. And you just inspire me. You two, coach, just like for what y'all doing right now, what y'all have done.
I appreciate that, Blue. Hey, shout out to Butterfly. Butterfly said, like, when it's your time, it's your time.
Yeah.
And that's true. When it's your time, we got to tell people when it's your time, it's your time. And favor is favor. Like, hey, you blossom and you're doing an awesome, like Blue, you're doing an amazing job just setting the tone for young African-American women who aspire not just to be coaches, but to say, what am I going to do when the ball stops bouncing for me and how I can help others as a coach? What is it like to play for Coach Blue? What is it like? I watch your TikToks. I watch the things you do. Tell the people, what is it like to play for Coach Blue?
Hey, when we can come eat with Coach Blue?
We're going to get on that now. We're going to get on Blue's Kitchen.
Now, you know what? I consider myself a player's coach. In my role as an assistant, I was the big sister. Like, if you talk to any other players who were at Miami when I was an assistant coach and associate head coach there, they call me Sir. That's my name, Sir. I was the one gonna get in there, but also I was someone who understood them a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. In between, you have that authority, but at the same time, you're relatable, and that's what I've always been. And I try to be that as a head coach. But I just found out since my new role, like my players don't want to come in my office, and it was weird for me to be like to adapt to that because I was players coming in my office all the time. They avoid my office, not because I'm no type of way, but I have this new tag on me that says head coach, and that's what it is. So there were so many adjustments I had to make. But to answer your question, like, what is it like to play for me? I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to love on you. I'm going to give you the real. But I'm kind of in tune. I'm about to be 46 on Monday, right? But I got a young soul. I feel like people don't believe I'm that old because I'm kind of hip to stuff. I'm on social media. I know what's going on, so I can relate to the younger generation. But at the same time, they understand I'm going to demand the absolute most of them. But they know there's a side of me that can relate. So that's what it's like to play for me.
Man, that's awesome. Yeah. I want to take you back to what you said about, when it's your time.
Yeah.
What do you think about the high school kids and the college kids these days? Because it's like 800 or 900 in the portal.
Try 1100. Whoa.
Coach, it went up?
Woo. I'm on it every day. That's why I can tell you. I'm on it every day. So I'm sorry. Finish your question.
No, that's it. Hey, talk to us.
It's crazy, and I don't want to get too.
No, yeah.
I just can't believe that many kids are just like, I don't like this. I'm about to find another place. And honestly, there's like a ton of kids who like going on that fourth school in that portal. It's like the commitment to anything, the like perseverance through adversity does not exist anymore. It's almost like if I don't have instant gratification, I'm going to go find it somewhere else. If I don't like it here, I'm going here. And it's just like, wow, who's fighting through anything anymore? And then how do you think you're going to be able to overcome being down
in life?
10 points in the third, and you got a whole quarter left. How we gonna even overcome that when you just don't believe in anything? You ain't trying to fight for anything. So I think it's crazy. However, from me being at a mid-major, now I have a different perspective being at a Power 5. I'm at a mid-major. That's an opportunity for me to get really good really fast. So I'm utilizing that portal. Georgia, big state, a lot of kids who come to universities are from the state of Georgia, and
Yeah.
I've already gotten 3 kids out of the portal. And actually, wait, no, I got 4. I got 4 out of the portal, and
That's awesome.
I feel like we're a better team already just from the potential of the prospects that we've got signed.
Well, I got two things to ask you before we take any questions from anybody that's listening. We appreciate all of you, my cousin. Shout out to my cousin Aunt listening, and some of my players, Lyrell, and my elementary friend, Christian Kemp. But thank you guys for listening. But let me ask you this, Coach. Does it affect the way you coach? And 2, do you think that there would be some type of NCAA regulation taking place in the coming years to somehow mitigate the exodus?
So question 1, no, it does not affect the way I coach. Because guess what? I only know how to be me as a head coach, and I'm gonna give it to you how I'm gonna give it to you. If you don't feel like, if you signed up to play with me and you don't feel like you could stay in this environment, guess what? Maybe the portal is the place for you. I'm just saying.
Okay.
But I'm gonna coach. I can only be me. It's really hard being somebody else. We hear that all the time, but like I can only coach how I coach, and only the kids who want that, who want constructive criticism, who wants to be pushed, who wants to elevate their skill set. I'm their coach. All right. So I'm not changing my coaching style whatsoever. Now, part B, I think because of the mass amount of people that are going in the portal, I feel like something has to be done. It's just, I mean, the turnover is insane. I mean, kids are just saying, all right, let's just go build. It's like the NBA. Let's go free agents. Let's go build a
Let's build a team.
let's build a super team. It's like, and you want to give people the freedom to move when they want to, but wow, I think it's a little crazy. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah. I think I don't know exactly what legislation or what protocol could take place, but I think we fought hard. First of all, we fought hard to give them the opportunity, because I remember in my day, and probably yours as well, you couldn't just leave the school.
No.
You were put in this, like you had to sign off and you had to wait a year,
sit out a year.
So it really discouraged people. And I know, I love my Canes, but I know if I lived, I probably would have left in this day and age, like the stuff that I went through.
Sure.
But I just had that commitment, that fortitude to fight through some adversity. It really made me the woman that I am today, to be able to deal with adversity. And these kids are missing that characteristic because they have the ability to just leave. I don't like it, I just leave.
Yeah.
And that's really hurting them. But I do feel at some time they're gonna have to do something to deal with it. They really will. It's changing the game. I know we want to give them freedom and the ability to make decisions and to come and go. Like I love, on another note, let me slide into this, what we talked about Takara with Cook over there at South Carolina with the
name and likeness, the NIL. What's your thoughts on that? Because we didn't have that coming up. Like imagine.
It's wonderful. I was about to say, I wish I could be, every time they put my photo on somebody, get a couple dollars or it's incredible. I mean, the NCAA makes a ton of money off these student athletes, in particular the football players who gonna make $1 million, multi-million dollars once they graduate. So no, I think it's a great opportunity anytime. And the people are waiting. I have friends who are actually working with companies that provide NILs, and they're telling me there are so many companies that want to provide opportunities to women. So we got players who are not even top tier players making over $350K doing Dunkin' Donut ads, doing Django box. I'm telling you, it's insane. She told me this, and these are players who are just like, No, but here's what I wanted to say, Carla. What was I about to say about what was your statement you were just telling me before Coach Takara said?
We were talking about Cook. We were talking about
the portal.
I had a thought. I'm sorry. Hopefully it'll come back.
All right. Well, maybe it'll come back to you.
Here's what it was. When you were talking about the little adversity you may be faced during your time in college and not.
Yeah.
And you were going to fight through something. Think about it. How many of our parents could we have come home and said, it's tough, I'm leaving? How many of our parents would have gone along with that? Instead of saying, girl, you better go get your stuff.
Get this free education.
Get out of your feelings. And I'm pretty sure she's pushing you to be better, like telling those type of things. But these kids are influenced by so many people, whether it be parents, coaches, trainers these days, skill developers, they're saying pushing kids here, there, and creating a different narrative other than, oh, guess what? This coach wants the best for you, and maybe you have to improve in these areas to see the floor, you know?
Yeah, nobody wants to fight.
Yeah, I think nobody wants to be accountable for their actions. You know, in anything you do, you're gonna have to be accountable. Like your success depends on you being accountable and responsible. I can't blame coach because coach not put me on the floor. I gotta go to coach. Hey, Coach Blue, what can I do to get on the floor? Like, what do I need to improve on? And I think kids are lacking those type of skills of just dealing with the one-on-one with your coach. Like, talk to your coach first. Like, don't go complain to mom and dad, and then mom and dad want to snap on coach. Nah, we can't.
I would love that. You know what? And that's one of the things I welcome communication. I love, even in recruiting right now, if I get a kid on campus and she's having a difficult time just communicating with me, there's no way she can communicate on the court. You're not going to tell me what you see. You know, so that's the thing that I look at in recruiting. But communication is so important. Like, I'd rather a kid, instead of pouting for like a month, come and say, Coach, what can I do to get on the court? And let me tell you, and I want to see you work towards doing those things. And if I see you at least trying, I'll give you an opportunity. But these days, kids think you should put them on the court because they're here. And I make 20 mistakes, but I'm really trying. That is not enough.
Yeah, that's not,
I'm trying hard.
No, that's not it. But you turn the ball over. You every other possession, you turn the ball over. No,
not enough. Production.
How many of those kids actually come in early or stay late or put in extra work? You know, a lot of kids, I want more time. I should be playing more. I should be more involved in the offense. But how many extra shots are you putting up, or how much extra work are you willing to do to get that? You know,
only the elite players, only the players who are. I you know what, I always say this, even on this level. I want to recruit and coach kids who want to be pros, because you know they're just gonna keep working. It's like if you hear kids say, "I don't really know what I want to do out of college. I want to be a pro basketball player." And granted, kids are student athletes. I'm not saying, you know, I want to carry on mommy's and daddy's business. That's fine. But like, I want people to be like, you know what? I want to lead Kennesaw State being the all-time leading scorer. Give me something that I know that you're going to work towards. But to answer your question, no, kids don't get in the gym. Not all the time. You know, sometimes the season gets the best of them. It's long, and I get it. But one of the things that I've done in our 2.5, 3 hour window is that I don't go the entire time. I allow a lot of time for skill work. And I tell my coaches, get them in 30 minutes twice a week just to work on their individual skill. And then it can just help us for the betterment of the entire team.
How important is film study in the package that you just named? Because everything you named is on point. How important is that film study, like really seeing it and studying the craft?
Right, it's so important, and I do a lot of it. I mean, we not only every game we play, I go back and break down, and we do a post game analysis. We talk about what we did well, what we were looking for in this play, or I ask a kid flat out, "What were you thinking right here? You understand time to score?" Film study is so important because you could try to stop a kid in mid action when they tired, exhausted. We done been in practice 2 hours and 30 minutes. They don't know what you're talking about. You can literally be like, when we ran this play, you were supposed to go. They just be shaking their head because they've been in practice for 3 hours and they really not processing anything you're saying at this point. So bringing them back in and showing them, I've had so many aha moments. And when we're riding buses, now a lot different from Miami, you know, we used to have that charter flight. So when we on that long drive from Jacksonville or to Jacksonville, I call them up in the front and I do a lot of little film study with them just to show them what I need.
Yeah. Hey, shout out to my little sis, Coach Williams over at Colquitt County in Georgia. So Coach, go over there and find some kids over there too.
Yes, Coach, send them my way.
Definitely. Hey, Coach, so we talking about crossing over. Hey, Coach, they see you in that kitchen, Blue. Tell me about Blue's kitchen.
Listen, I've always been a little low-key chef. Like, you know, I talk about when the girls was doing double dutch and hopscotch, I was playing basketball. When most kids were watching cartoons, I legit was on my TV where we used to turn the dial watching Channel 2. It was Dutch House. it was the French Chef. I was watching cooking shows from that young, and I used to take random ingredients in my mama kitchen. So I took to cooking a long time since I was young. I cooked for my family, and now it's like a happy place for me. When I'm not, this is the first time this season I have not really. I can't do it like I used to. I used to have a whole coaches who cook weekly, 2 times a week.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And I really got after it during the COVID, during the pandemic. I was after it every day, new recipes. I haven't found the time, but like since the season's been over, I've been in there 1 or 2, maybe 3 times cooking up some stuff. But that's my favorite thing to do.
I saw that you prepped it for your kids. Yeah, the team. I saw CT said that food be good too.
Yeah, my family. Listen, shout out to CT and my sister Renee. Listen, during COVID, we kept a tight circle, but they came to the house every Saturday, and I did some type of theme, whether it was Jamaican food, we did wings, we did a seafood boil. I was cooking for them every Saturday at the house.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Shout out, man.
We're gonna have to get a crossover banquet going on or something.
I'm gonna come down there. We gotta come and get something going for real. Y'all gotta provide the kitchen. You know I don't got no place.
We got you.
That's not a problem at all. We got the kitchen for you.
That's easy.
But no, my players love that now. That's the thing. I brought them over to the house and we did a whole Mexican taco thing, and I bought myself a Blackstone, and I love that griddle.
Man, I got to get one. Yeah.
Good investment. You can do anything on it. But we did that. I did hibachi night with my family. So no, I love the kitchen.
Yeah.
Somebody who's this Anthony T. Rock? No, I know you throw down too. I've been seeing you posting it. Hold on now.
Yeah. Now you know what? When you said it's your happy place, like I just cooked for my real estate team. What about 2 weeks ago, T?
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
I get in my zone. Like I'm in the zone. They like she did all that fast because it's just a method. I'm tuning out. It's a zone and it's a happy place for me. Like I do enjoy cooking and making the people happy. Like food is a happy place. Music and food, happy places. So when we can do that, man, I'm smiling. I'm like, everybody good. They like my plate empty. We quiet over here, then we good.
I love that entertainment. I put the music on, I cook. I might pour me a glass of wine and I'm just cooking for hours. I cooked a whole Thanksgiving dinner for my staff and my players, and we had a game the next day. And them kids couldn't believe I cooked all that. Like I literally did that. When I tell you I was beat up and tired, but I just enjoy watching them enjoy the food. So that's cool.
Yeah. Before we let you go, talk to us about your time at University of Miami as a player playing under Coach Fern.
She is a firecracker. Everybody tell you that. Coach Collar know that. Full of personality. She got to be 5'3", but she was a firecracker. Like I said, everybody had different experiences under her. I have a good one. It also helps when you're the leading scorer and rebounder. You know that. My leading scorer and assist leader gets a little extra. I just understand that. So, but my relationship with her was good. She's always kept in contact with me, even to this day. She reaches out. But like my time at Miami, I'm always gonna love. I bleed orange and green. I love the U. And then making the decision to go after my dream of being a head coach was hard, but easy at the same time because I've stayed there for 9 years. And if you count my playing career, my years as a student athlete, 13 years of my life has been at the U, and I'm always going to be there. I'm blessed and fortunate to be one of 4 jerseys hanging in the rafters. So I'm there. But like my time there, when I tell you just to be able to talk to recruits and walk through the campus and those the same paths I walked and being at the Merrifield and the Circle, all watch how the school has evolved over the years. I'm really excited about where it's going. I think, they got new coaches in there in terms of the football program, and everybody knows everybody's happy at the U when football is doing well. But when they're not. So it seems to be good energy, and hopefully Coach Cristobal gets it going, and it feels like the old you when we were there.
Yeah. We're gonna always be a Cane. You're gonna always be an Aggie, no matter what we do, whether it was good or bad. I mean, I love my school. Like I'm a Cane. I'm yelling at the screen. I went to the Alabama game. We got smashed, but I was there cheering with my orange and green. We Hurricanes, and I love being affiliated and being a part of that family. So that's never going to change. I mean, I don't want to ask a tough question, but the future for Coach Blue, I know that might be tough for you. Now, I don't want to put no time stamp, and I don't want to say anything about Kennesaw State, but I mean, a big future for Coach Blue. I know opportunities are going to come as you continue to build your program there at KU. So, what do you think? What do you see in the future?
Well, I'm trying to get this thing off the ground. I took this job last April. You know what's go crazy? My birthday is Monday, as I mentioned earlier. I actually the woman who was the lead on the hire, she's second in charge, the CEO, her name's Tamika Jones. She asked me during our Zoom call, because it was kind of still during COVID. She's like, Coach, I got a couple weeks open. When can you come for a campus, your interview for a campus visit? And she gave me a couple weeks, and the first one she led with was my birthday week. Like, my birthday was that Sunday. She was like, we'll fly you in Sunday, April 18th, and then we'll interview on Monday. So I know that she knew this, and I wasn't falling for that. So I'm like, I want the first week. I'm gonna be the first one. I want the first week, April 18th. She was like, Coach, is that your birthday? I'm like, yeah, I'm there. Right. So I wanted her to know my commitment to KSU. So I say that to say this. I came here because they wanted KSU to not be at the bottom of the league. And I think I'll be doing this job, this program, this community a disservice if I did not work my tail off to get this program from where it is to a championship level. That's my goal. And I'll stay here as long as I need to stay here to do it. We made big strides. I took the job. I didn't get rid of any players, and I didn't bring in any players. So I basically took the same team that they had from the 2019-20 season. All right. So I took 19-20 season. And I took the same team, and guess what we were able to do? We won two more overall games. So they went from 7 when we won 9 this year, and then we won 5 conference games, which is the most they've won since the 16-17 season. So I'm happy with the strides I made from what we were able to do this year, but I think there's so much more we can do, and I'm just going to work really hard to do that. And then guess what? If other opportunities come down the line, I'll just have to assess them when they come. But right now, I want to make my mark in my first head coaching position and be respected more so. And I tell people this all the time, and I told the lead for this job, everybody know about my basketball playing career. I don't want people to talk about my playing career. It is what it is. I'm not shying away from it. I've gotten many opportunities from my playing career. What I want people to know is how I impacted the lives of young people, how many all-conference players I developed as a coach, how many relationships that I built that still exist to this day, and what I've done as a coach. And that's the biggest thing that I want people to talk about these years. I'm not shying away from what I did as a player, but I don't want to hear, oh, she's picking up. You know how many pros I've been able to coach? Beatrice Mapamir, who's calling me every week from Hungary because I know she's bored, but that's a relationship I cultivated over the years. But those are things that I'm proud of.
Yeah. And you also talk about players that you didn't take away or add, but you added a great assistant coach, your homie.
Yes.
Hope over there.
Yes. No, that was a no-brainer. Kim Hope has been my best friend, my high school rival. I didn't know was my best friend. We played against each other when I was at Nova and she was at MacArthur. And what's so crazy, I was cleaning out my closet yesterday and I found so many pictures and I took them into work and showed them to her of us playing against each other. And we were just laughing and reminiscing of the good old days and how things are not like that anymore. But nonetheless, there was no one I could think of that I wanted to be on this journey with me. She knows she was my high-low partner. We played 3 of my 4 years of basketball at a high level. We went from trying to piggyback of what y'all were able to do, back-to-back Big East champs, and we went from the bottom just to get ourselves in the tournament. And that was, for me playing alongside of her. So when this opportunity came available for me, she was one of the first people that I called to say, hey, let's go do this. And no doubt, she's been successful as a head coach for 30. It was so much I can learn from her because she's been head coach longer than me. So I'm like, I'm in a new space. I know I've been Division I, but talk to me about how I need to deal with this. So I leaned on her a ton this year.
That's
Man, and
awesome, man.
that is awesome because not a lot of times we get nominated in positions as a head coach, and you look to someone that is not in that position anymore, and you're looking to her for leadership. Man, I think that's awesome.
Yeah, and then to just tell you, like, for her having the more experience than me, to just be like, hey, I could take the back seat for a moment, like, and I'm gonna help you. I want to see you win because we like this. So it's just been a blessing.
Yeah.
Hey, shout out to Candace Jones, Coach Jones, in the what'd you say, the Central Atlanta area,
Metro area, Metro.
Metro area. She said, "Go check them out, Coach Blue."
Okay, I got you.
Cannon out there. Coach Jones and I had some battles in high school, so she knows
Oh,
basketball
man.
very well. So yeah, definitely check them out, Coach Blue.
Hey, I got another lady player alumni on this line, man. Latoya Jordan. She just
Hey,
got
listen, that's the GOAT. High school, you already know that's the GOAT right there now. And you know what? Her and I played together too. So that's my PG. Used to get that ball to me now. That's a PG now.
Hey, you need the PG. So hey, look, talk about that. We about to do our fast action. Quick,
Okay.
we give you like 30 seconds. Quick questions that we ask you to fire off on and give us your response.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. We call it the hot cross zone.
Okay.
So, favorite food. What's your favorite food?
Potatoes.
Potatoes. All right. Hey, nobody can't mess up potatoes. All right. Dessert or no dessert?
No dessert.
No dessert. All right. You like to play fast or you like to play slow?
Play fast.
You like your top player, most important player on the team, the point guard or post?
Point guard.
Everybody keep saying
I love post, but you know what? It's somebody who got to have the ball in their hand and crunch time, make it happen. Whether they're assistant. So,
hey, and they got to get the ball to you, right?
They got to get the ball to me.
All right. So our last question is going to be, I change it up every week. Question number 5 for you, Coach, is you would pick men or women in terms of coaching women's basketball, men or male or female. Do you think one of them makes more impact than the other?
I'm all about women coaching women. I just am. I don't, it's no, you know what? Shout out to Fitzroy Anthony. We fight about this all the time. He's an assistant head coach at Miami. Him and I talk all the time, but I fight all the time. I say men are, and I could be wrong. I'm not trying to offend any men on this podcast. I always say y'all just be in the business because y'all can't get on the men's side. Listen, we fight about this all the time, but you know what? He brings up great points of it because you know what? He's coached women his whole life. His sister was a stud player. I get it, but no, women. I like women being able to relate, to see somebody who's walked the walk, talk the talk, mentor them. It's all those things. You know, not to say a man can't, but if you had to ask me, that's my answer.
Yeah, we gotta respect your opinion.
Sure. I agree because I think that as female players, you can pull the wool over the men's eyes because see, they don't go through the same experiences we do, so they can't really BS a female coach. Like we already know that. You can't come with that. But with the men, with the men, you could kind of, especially if they have daughters, you got them.
That's right. Yeah, you got them. Well, Coach Blue, we thank you, man, like so much. And if I haven't told you, and I think I have, I am so truly proud of you, and I'm proud to be a part of your story, a small part of your story. But thank you for all that you have done, and will do to represent South Florida, you know, in general, the University of Miami and all of South Florida. You're always going to be a South Florida legend, and we thank you for all that you do for women's basketball.
I want to thank y'all. Y'all are legends within your own right. Don't discount that whatsoever. I thank y'all for having me on the show. I love what y'all doing. And again, I will be getting that Blues Kitchen started when I get back to South Florida.
Hey, we gonna just let us know when you get here now. We're gonna make it happen.
All right, ladies.
All right, appreciate your time, Coach.
You got it. Have a good night.
Thank you. Oh man, legendary.
Another great episode with an unbelievable guest, dropping nuggets to our people, man. It's exciting to have these unbelievable people come on board.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Blue. Thank you, Tasha. We appreciate you. Hey, that Blue family was deep tonight, but it was
Yeah, I
deep.
like that. But you know what? That's where it starts. That's where it starts when you have a support system, and
Yeah.
that support system will support you throughout your entire career. Whether you're a player, whether you're coaching, whatever you're doing in life, they're going to support you. So that's awesome to see, and I think it's very interesting and very good for our young women to see growing up. Like, hey, you can transition into more than just a player. You can coach this thing. You can go into business, whatever it is that you desire.
Right, right. Hey, crossover. You got to be able to cross over. And as we always say, use the game. Don't let the game use you.
Absolutely.
Hey,
And with
shout out to Maria. You finally catch an episode. Hey, we going to talk. We finally caught one. We appreciate you tuning in.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And so with that being said, we're gonna let you guys get out of here. Y'all have a good night. It was informational packed, man. I had a good time just learning the journey. Like I said, I watched her growing up, just idolizing her, like, man, that's what I want to do, because she was on the court killing. She was on the court killing.
Right.
So,
Hey, another great episode. Y'all be good out there. And like we said, use the game. Don't let the game use you. Y'all be good.
absolutely. Have a good one.